Welcome back to the DNaz channel. I have some crazy news from you today because America is being attacked from within at a lot of different angles. And I got to show you guys some crazy stuff, all right, that is going to make you think about how fragile a society is and how we are in more danger than you think, or we have to take more precautions, okay? For our kids, for our community, for our people, we have to take precautions, all right? So, what am I talking about? I'm talking about China. People in China want to they want to destroy us from within. You have to understand enemies and just world powers, you know what I mean? Like the world isn't all sunshine and rainbows. As much as I am all with the good and love the good, it's not. There's a lot of things that happen, but these things are coming to light, right? So we have Chinese people right now, gangs like the triads, right, coming here, buying up land, growing illegal marijuana, kidnapping people off the street. There's setting up of secret police stations, illegal police stations. I have a bunch of stuff to talk to you about. We're going to get into why. Let's start why. Well, America has a huge market, okay? Like we are the number one in market. So if you want to make money, America's where to go, right? This is where most of the money is, okay? We're number one in the world, right? So to another superpower like China, they're going to want, or just people in general from there, are going to want to come here and make money and do things. You know what I mean? And gangs operate in a crazy way. But if they get here, they're bringing their crazy ways with them here, just like the cartels coming over and they're kidnapping our women, right? And doing things like that, doing crazy things and giving us drugs. Listen, drugs are the worst. Drugs are the evil, right? I forget who it was. Someone called it the fifth horseman of the apocalypse. I forget who it was. Darn it. But it's just, the drugs are so bad, right? And it's also a way to weaken us, to weaken our youth, right? And kill us off. So these drugs, they have such a hold on a lot of people because we have a lot of depression. We have a weird society, man. America's a tough society. We have a lot of depression and we have generations of, us being tested upon with different chemicals. We have companies, big pharma companies that are coming around and they are encouraging drugs and people, so many people are on these medications and it's screwing them up, right? Screws them up mentally. And we have generations of this now. So now we're at the point where drugs have such a strong hold on people, right? So now weed becomes legal. Once weed was legal, that was it, right? Now, because weed was already a huge market, it was a giant market. So now you just gave gangs and people who are already here growing and people who, now you just gave criminals who are going to think, wow, I can now do this legally. They're getting these permits. They have the money, right? So these gangs, they got the money. So they come in, they're buying up land in Maine, okay? There's 300 known locations. They are buying in the middle of the woods, rural areas where they can just go around, they could grow weed. No one's watching them. They're in the middle of nowhere. And it's gotten to the point where now they have communities, you got these people from China that are making communities, like, towns full of people, right? And they're connected with the Chinese restaurants. They're doing money laundering. This is how they're staying afloat, right? So they have all this money. They're selling this weed illegally. They're selling it to the places you go get your medical marijuana. They're selling it to those places because they're going to those people and giving it to them half off. And because they legally bought a license somewhere, someone came here with money. They legally got a license to grow weed. Now they're growing weed. They're doing it illegally, growing way more than they actually should, right? And then they're selling it to these people at half cost, That's great for them. So these weed farms have so many different problems. Not only is it terrible that we are being infiltrated, but the problems that these weed farms cause because they don't care how they treat our land, right? They don't give a shit how they treat our land. They are putting chemicals. The black market is huge, right? There's even, chemicals on the black market like, pesticides, herbicides, all these things, right? So they don't care how they're treating our environment. They are pouring chemicals into this marijuana that you think is safe to consume, and it's not safe, right? So we are taking in all these chemicals, smoking all these chemicals. They're doing that. Not only that, these farms come with slavery. They need people to work the farm. So what are they doing? They're kidnapping people off the street, right? If you look, there's an article, right? I should put it up here, of a police station in Chinese police station running in Manhattan, okay, in New York. They were going around kidnapping people, their own people that spoke bad about China. They were people that weren't on their side. So you have these people operating a police station, posing as police officers. You know how much money and type of power you need to do that? That is not just something to take lightly, right? That they are doing this. And now they're buying up all the homes in Maine. And, now what? Now what? Right? Now we got our marijuana market flooded with chemicals that we think we are consuming safely. And these gangs they're running operations. They're poisoning people, kidnapping people, enslaving people on their farms, doing all these types of shit. This shit is going on in our country, people. In our country, right? It's bad enough what we got to deal with the shit that we do. But now we have other people attacking us, coming here, doing it intentionally because money is the tool. Money is the weapon here. They want money and they want our money. And we have a lot of it over here. So another thing, right, is the products in your gas station, right? Now let's go to the marijuana first. All the CBD in your gas station, all the marijuana in your gas station, that stuff has things in it that you have no idea. It's grown with things you have no idea. That's why it's sold in gas stations. Do not consume that stuff. Those gas station products have a whole bunch of different chemicals, right? And it's not regulated. The things are not regulated, so they don't have to prove to anybody what they're putting in there, right? They're just packaging these products and going to sell it to gas stations. So they have all these types of different chemicals. Their stuff is grown with herbicide. They even been spraying. So THC, right? It produces this thing THC9, right? It's part of it's a chemical, but they're extracting it. Like even someone that smokes regular weed all the time, they're not getting a high dose of this, but they're putting it on the stuff in the gas stations. It's THC9, which is way more psychoactive. It's like, I don't know if you remember K12. There was like a synthetic marijuana that went on the market. It was so messed up. It screwed people up. This stuff is not safe for you to be consuming. So please, please be careful where you're getting your stuff if you are. And just know we have a lot of products in our things that we are consuming and we need to get them out. We have a lot of illegal things happening in our country. We need to stop. We need to start waking up and realizing that we have problems we need to fix. We are the people, we make the changes. So we need to do that now. We need to make the changes now, right? Not wait, not let our kids deal with it. No, we have to create that better world. That's what I'm about here on the DNaz channel. And we'll see you next time.